Greetings, and today I have another deck video for greetings, and today I'm doing a what are you doing here? What am I doing here? I'm doing a deck intro. Greetings, and today I have another Gwent deck video for you guys. So this particular deck was made by Baby Joseph, aka BJ of Team Bandit Gang. This is his version of the new Impostor deck for Nilfgaard. So if you guys haven't already, be sure you guys check out the website because he has written an article about this deck. I'll be sure to link it in the description below. I'll also be sure to link the deck list itself because I didn't make the deck list, so I should be able to get the deck list easily this time because sometimes I forget in my previous videos to share the deck and copy and paste it because I know some of you guys like to just straight up take the deck, just copy it. Personally, I do it manually, but that's just me. Doesn't mean it's everyone. So my apologies. I'll be sure to get into the habit of that. So BJ made an article about this deck. He wrote like a story, which you guys should read. It's a pretty entertaining story, but it also in there also writes like how he planned, like how the deck is played is integrated into that story or into that article. So make sure you guys go give it a read. And I'm gonna give you guys sort of my thoughts of this deck, and I'm also going to show you guys some gameplay. Now, the gameplay has music that's obviously going to get copyrighted if I show it, so I'm just going to do some sort of not post commentary, it's just some commentary on the games. So I'm going to make this relatively quick. It's not going to be a long sort of intro because, you know, a lot of the explanation is going to come from the gameplay. So Masquerade Ball. So Masquerade Ball, we are not playing this like how most people tend to run Masquerade Ball, which is of course Masquerade Ball into a seer to bring it back, and then you go ahead and do your Masquerade Ball shenanigans. This one, we purely stick Masquerade Ball to round 1, and the reason why we want to do this more often than not, like, I know most plays are usually conditional, but in this case, we kind of need to have a secure round 1, so Masquerade Ball is usually the best card for that. And I don't know if you guys can tell by looking at the deck list, but we actually do not have a good proactive first turn play. So if we end up getting blue coin, we are going to be in a bit of trouble because we do not have a first turn play. So to fix that, we went with the Magic Lamp stratagem. So we can actually just go Magic Lamp and then Tourney Joust. That would be our first turn play. And then once our opponent starts playing cards, then we can go crazy with the locks, with the bleeds, with the Tourney Joust, with the assassinations, with the poisons, etc. I attempted to teach Bandit Pig how to play this deck, but as you guys can tell, if you guys saw the stream, I am not good at explaining things to other people live on stream, just because I think there's just too much pressure. But when I play by myself, whether on my own stream or when I'm just playing sort of on my own time off stream, then, you know, I play it much better because I think I can focus on that way better with Bandit Pig and all that stuff. It's just more for entertainment purposes, and, you know, I think you guys would be just a tad bit entertained by our shenanigans playing with this deck. So other than Masquerade Ball, everything else is sort of focusing to help it out. So all the other poison cards we got, Fangs of the Empire, Raw Tossers, Thirsty Dames, of course. The big surprise actually here is Thirsty Dames. So whereas Masquerade Ball usually is the meta Nilfgaard strong play, our actual best play here comes from the Thirsty Dames themselves. The idea here is that in the third round, because the best, essentially you want to get yourself in a third round, a long third round as well. So you get Operator into a Thirsty Dame. And then you actually end up using Impostor to lock the Thirsty Dame, so you get an extra copy of it for yourself. And what this does is it creates a Thirsty Dame with 6 power, but it also boosts the Thirsty Dame that's been copied by the Operator up to 5 power because you do lock it with Impostor. And if you manage to get Defender before you pull the Operator combo without it being purified or destroyed, then you're free to play Damien. If your defender actually ends up getting destroyed, then I would suggest waiting a couple turns before you play Damien because, you know, there's a chance that maybe a better card comes up down the line. Like, you don't necessarily need to lock the Thirsty Dame again. Like, for example, if you find that you're taking on a lot of Lippy decks and you see a lot of the Champions of Svalbard coming out, you can definitely lock those and you can make a Champions of Valblood yourself. It locks their Champion of Valblood, which means they can't really reset their health. And you have a 14-point Champion of Valblood, not to mention your Thirsty Dames get boosted because you added a lock. So there is that option. So Damien can be a little bit flexible, especially after you see that they've played like their high removal cards, like their Decoctions, their Stunning Blows, their Karafi Heat Waves, etc. Everything else, Joachim, so let's say everything goes to waste, right? Let's say, for example, you used up Masquerade Ball, you used up your Operator Thirsty Dame combo, and you have nothing else to play. Now, your getaway card here actually would be Joachim. Joachim would actually get you that very high-powered card. It is, of course, granted that they're not going to have, like, Bloody Baron or Spores or Geralt Axie for whatever reason. But if you can pull that off, Joachim Do It is sort of your very last-ditch getaway for tempo. But if you can, try to make sure that you can win it all with Operator plus Thirsty Dames. The games I'm going to show you guys and sort of do some commentary on will sort of emphasize why and how strong this deck could possibly be. In my opinion, the hardest part is just getting to that point, getting to that long round 3 where you can get those very strong Thirsty Dames going and hopefully don't get reset. So I'm just going to keep it sort of short and sweet with that one because, like I said, I am going to emphasize more of this in the gameplay themselves. So hopefully I made BJ proud with this deck because I know in the stream he was very disappointed because, again, I'm not good at telling people what to do because it's not my kind of style. Yeah. So hopefully if you guys did enjoy this video in the end, because I did not do an outro, be sure to leave a like, comment on any comment on any changes you guys think should be done with this deck. But I think this deck is actually pretty good. If you guys find it difficult to find a proactive play, then I guess you can make a small change. But I kind of like the magic lamp, the Jin into the tourney joust as the first turn play, which isn't so bad. But yeah. So if you guys have any changes you think you could make, definitely leave in the comment section below. Be sure to check out the article if you guys want to read sort of BJ's take into this deck. I find it very entertaining. It's very nice. And of course, subscribe for more Gwent content. And let's send you guys over to the gameplay. Okay, so the first game here we have is against a against an Imperial formation deck. We are using Poison. So again, the idea behind this deck really is you want to make sure that you can actually secure yourself a long round 3, where you can actually start pulling off your Operator plus Thirsty Dame combos, and then you can start locking them with Impostor and making copies on your side of the field to get even more copies of Thirsty Dame, and then you just start dishing out statuses on your opponent's side of the field to start getting the boosts and win by hopefully a large margin. So this particular hand, we did manage to get Masquerade Ball, although the problem here was the two aristocrats that we need to activate it are Joachim and Roderick, which really is cards that you should try to avoid investing in sort of the first round, because those are very good cards actually, and they could help very well with Operator and Thirsty Dame combos because they are spies. So we did manage to win coin here, so it was nice because as you can see, we would not have a good proactive play here. Like our most proactive play here actually would have been Masquerade Ball if we had to end up going first. So I just ended up playing Masquerade Ball anyway because I had a feeling that Thirsty Dame was gonna get locked whether I liked it or not. So this was going to happen regardless. So he does go ahead and use the collar on the Thirsty Dame. And then he actually decides to play the Mata. So at this point, I'm still thinking that he's some sort of a soldier package. So my guess here is he might have drawn Damien or something. So he did manage to get out tourney joust from me. So I did actually decide to play Roderick here, I believe, to sort of disable the Magna Division's ability. Another thought is if I had gone Royal Decree, I also could have played like if I had gotten Royal Decree and Van Morlehem, I could have also gotten that, and also that would be my second aristocrat to sort of finish the Masquerade Ball. So I did get the Royal Decree. So first I get the poison, I poison Mata, and then here I actually think I decided to go for the Imperial Diviner because I did poison Mata, so I was like, what's the point of bleeding it? So I did opt to sort of purify Thirsty Dame so that he can start getting more boosts from future statuses. I could have played the Van Morlehem Cupbearer to complete the poison. but I feel like the Cupbearer might have some use in the third round because he still serves as an extra source of poison. So here he does decide to play the Masquerade Ball of his own. So here I was just sort of talking about, like, you can see me randomly opening cards. I was sort of explaining the combo to, like, I think there were like a couple people that were watching me on stream. This is a stream game, so, but there's music playing that's subject to copyright, so I have to do sort of post commentary for this particular video. So I think here is where I actually opt to play Rot Tosser here. I actually opt to play the Rot Tosser right in between the Mata and the Thirsty Dame. I figured this would have to force him an option to either protect this Thirsty Dame and let Mata live, or inflict poison on the Thirsty Dame and protect Mata. But I think he actually decides to play his Hunter here to actually lock the cow so that it actually doesn't go off at all. But what that does is that actually gives my Thirsty Dame a charge because of that lock, so that still gives me a point no matter what play he makes with the cow. If this was self-damage, then, you know, that would be even better for him, but it's not, So here he does opt to go for the lock on the cow to prevent the poison. Also gets the poison of his own off on the Fangs of the Empire. I'm kind of intrigued that he actually chooses not to go for the Thirsty Dame in this one. Just because I feel like in the long round, especially with the way this deck works, Thirsty Dame just gets more value. But I can also, I guess in a way I can understand with that, with the Masquerade Ball creating another poison. So here I just decided to play a Bronze Poison to just get rid of Mata and boost my own Thirsty Dame. So you can see that his deck's starting to look like a very textbook Nilfgaard status deck with the artifact. Of course, the only thing that's not so common with it is Imperial Formation. Usually people would run Tactical Decision or Strategic Withdrawal. So he does opt to play the King Cobra to finish off the job on the Imperial Diviner. And here I actually opt to play, I don't know, I either opt to play Moral or the Bronze Poison. So I do opt to go for the Bronze Poison on the Thirsty Dame there, just to see if he had anything to purify it. My guess is he doesn't, because if he did, I feel like he might have already tried to purify the Mata, because that 6 points is also a lot. So he does play the Cup, so he did have a Purify on the Cupbearer. I guess Thirsty Dame was more valuable. It makes sense, it is more valuable in the long round. Again, it gets more value. This might have been the time where I actually did decide to play Moral on the Thirsty Dame to inflict the poison back. I think that's what I should have done first. I actually should have played Moral first, but I wasn't actually expecting to, you know... And I think in a way I was actually hoping for him to pass, but obviously I don't think it was, so... So there he does play the Invo on the Moral. So actually what that does is, actually my Fion is now sort of open for business, and same with Damien, so which I thought was really nice. So thanks to him for doing that, actually. That was really good. Shout out to him. Okay, so this is what I actually contemplating about passing. Nope, kidding. I decided to finish the job on the Masquerade Ball. That was kind of unfortunate that I did get the Thirsty Dame out, but also in a way, I was hoping he would also pass from here and give me secure me the win, but I don't think he does, so... But yeah, getting rid of Joaquin first round, I feel like had to be a necessity if I wanted to secure my win. Because even though I do like to use him, so both of my spies are essentially gone, but the good news is my deck is thinned out a bit more, so I can actually increase my chances of drawing my Thirsty Dame, even though there's only one left, because one of them got taken out with Joaquin, which was really unfortunate, I think. So he does play the Bronze Poison on the Thirsty Dame, and here I thought my opportunity was to pass, and I took it, because I feel like if he had taken the lead after I played Mata, I would have no chance of coming back, because my last 3 cards are not good at all. So he does play the Thirsty Dame here, and triggers the next poison, and finish off my Thirsty Dame, and then he passes, and then he gets... But he did have to play 2 cards though. He did have to go down a card for this, which was really nice. So that means that he actually has to, he has to pass, and that's actually what I want, because if they try to bleed you with this deck, you could be in a little bit of trouble. So a long round 3 is actually very ideal with this deck. You don't ever want them to have control of round 2 against a deck like this, because they could just pass in the middle of your combo with the Operator, and it's like, shoot, now you gotta sort of have a getaway plan, right? And this one doesn't really have a good getaway plan. So I did manage to find my second Thirsty Dame, which is really good, and I also got Damien. So at this point, I think I was okay with bricking Mata, because I did not need to draw Cupbearer at the expense of him drawing like a Tourney Joust or something, you know, or a Lock, or a Van Morlem Hunter. So I was okay there with bricking Mata. So now we get round 3. Our hand is very well optimized to what we needed to do. We draw the Cupbearer, which was even better, and the Cupbearer actually saved our skin here in this game, and you're going to see why. So the last 2 cards there that I would have liked are the Van Morleham Hunter or the Imperial Diviner, which is what I was looking for. Not the Diviner, the Judicious Informant. And I found the Van Morleham Hunter, I think, which was really good. So our hand is well optimized. This is exactly what we want to pull off this combo. And we get to go first, so we can actually start with the Defender here, because that's how I like to start this setup round, is to make sure that the Defender is intact and ready to go. Because you need to get off this combo as early as possible to maximize the amount of points you get. So the question here is, what does he do? So he actually plays Vincent to destroy the Defender. So this is where I was actually thinking, shoot, maybe my Damien is actually in a bit of trouble here. But I decided not to let that, phase me. And I actually decided to opt ahead and play the Operator. So at this point I was like, okay, regardless on whether the Defender stays or not, I was going to play my Operator Thirsty Dame combo, whether I like it or not. So there's my Operator into the Thirsty Dame. I decided to lock it to get an extra copy of Thirsty Dame. Now I am out of range from Assassination and Tourney Joust. He played his Yennefer's Invocation, which means that they're not going to be able to get stolen. They could get locked, of course. He could still have a Van Morleham Hunter. He's only played 1 so far. But my guess is he might have been... And then here's where he plays a Seer. And this actually slowed him down a little bit, which sort of opened the doors for me to sort of start getting the boost, to start continuing the setup process. He decides to bring back the Masquerade Ball, and he has yet to play his Roderick Spy, so he can bring that back easily. This is where I actually opt to play Damien, just to see if he was going to do anything to it. I think this is where he reveals that he did have a second Van Morleham Hunter in his hand. Yep, he does, so he actually decides to lock Damien. But this is why it was really good that we managed to draw the Cupbearer here. So he decides to spread his boost a little bit, of course. And then brings out the Soldier, because I think he needs his lead. This is where I was thinking if he was going to have a Damien of his own, but I feel like his deck might have been a bit too expensive. Because he had, let's see, he had Yennefer's Invocation, which is a 9. He had Masquerade Ball, which is 14. He has Vincent, which I think is 11. He has, I don't remember the name of this card, but I believe it's 10. And yeah, and he has 2 8s with Artorias and a Seer. So either he just didn't draw Damien, or he doesn't have it. So he opts to play the Purify here, and I think he opts to Purify his Thirsty Dame, which I'm gonna end up locking anyway. Here is where I opt to play Cupbearer to purify my Damien, get off Damien's Impostor, and then lock the Dame once again, and get all those boosts. So at this point, those boosts were just getting super ridiculously high, which was exactly what you want in a deck like this. Now, of course, you're wondering why I didn't play the Duchess's Informant, and in some cases, like, maybe I should have played the Informant first before I pulled off Damien's combo. Because I think at that point I was just sort of trying to relock the Thirsty Dame again, because I knew that he had the Masquerade Ball, which is coming out now, of course. So, that's why I sort of opted to go straight to the Impostor combo. But you're gonna see that keeping the Informant actually was helpful in a sense there. And you'll see it towards the end. So I do believe lock the Thirsty Dame. So I have plenty of locks still. I still have my other Van Morleham Hunter. I still have Rod Tosser that could get me 3 extra points. 3 extra points per Dame, mind you. It's per Dame, because it's 1 for Spy, 2 for Poison. So there's the morale that he stole from me. Obviously I couldn't see it because we're both playing the same faction. But he does opt to poison my morale, my Thirsty Dame. So actually here, I think this is where I decide to actually lock the morale. I'm sort of wondering, like, shoot, I'm not getting my Informant off. I can't get that extra Thirsty Dame. I'm missing out on points here. What the heck is going to happen? He might actually win. And I think here is where it starts to get really scary. Here is actually he plays Joachim. Like, everything is going well for him in this round if I didn't lock all of those engines, And then here's where he gets the Bomb Heaver. I was like, okay, so I was actually really happy that he didn't drop Bomb Heaver round 1. Otherwise, I would have had to pass much earlier. He got the poison off and killed one of my Thirsty Dames. At this point, it was looking scary for me. He was up by 14. So I just decided to play the Rod Tosser here to sort of get the poison off on the Bomb Heaver. And this is where I was like, okay. And I think it was at this point where the viewer was sort of, I think it was Veritas. He was telling me, why not use the Informant for Purify? I think he was referring for the Damien. But I think this is now the point where I actually think, oh baby, I actually used the Duchess's Informant to make a copy of the poison and then just kill the Morale. So at this point, that's what I decided to do. I get those points up. At this point, no matter what I played, I would have gotten what I needed. But I just decided to poison off and I win by a very solid 13 points. So that's game 1 against a very textbook status Nilfgaard deck. So with this particular game, we do go first against the Lippy deck. So this is sort of where I kind of stated sort of one of the main weaknesses of this deck is the lack of a proactive play here. As you can see, like my most proactive play might actually end up being the Masquerade Ball. But if I was able to find Attorney Joust, then my proactive play would have actually been the Genie Lamp into the Attorney Joust for a good 9-point first turn. And then if he decides to play a unit, that's when I would decide to start playing, you know, Assassinates, Poisons, Masquerade Ball. Because the last thing you want is to, you know, play Masquerade Ball first, and then he ends up playing just a reactive card, and then, you know, you'll have nothing to poison. So, makes your cards relatively obsolete if you ask me. Obviously Mata could not be a proactive play because we can't go beyond 10 cards. So I could not play Mata first whether I liked it or not. If he had gone first, then I could have definitely played Mata first, but, you know, that's why I'm saying, like, when you go first with this deck, it's going to be a bit interesting what your first turn play is going to be. So I think I actually decide to play a Rod Tosser as my first turn play, as bizarre as that sounds. It was the best play for me to make, in all honesty, just analyzing the environment and my situation with my hand right now. I could have played Royal Decree, but there's just much better uses for Royal Decree than just a proactive first turn bronze play, so obviously I decided not to play it. And here's where he just decides to Stunning Blow, and I'm essentially back to square one, where again I need to come up with another proactive play here. So I think I actually just decided to go ahead and play the Masquerade Ball, because what I was thinking here is if he has Bomb Heaver, then he has a unit on the field that I can start bleeding and poisoning, which is nice, so that's at least a starting point. And if he has Karathi Heatwave, I actually would manage to get Karathi Heatwave out of him, and he would not play it on a, like, you know, a 13 or 14 powered Thirsty Dame, which would be much more valuable for Karathi Heatwave than, you know, just a merely first round Masquerade Ball. So this is where I was starting to get a little bit scared. So I was sort of deciding to scope out sort of the options that he would have in dealing with my Masquerade Ball. So here he actually has the Savage Bear, which is nice. Well, nice for us. So we now have the unit to sort of start damaging, or to sort of start messing with here. And he decides and bleeds my Thirsty Dame, although I can just get those points back. So this tells me that no Bomb Heaver, no Karathi Heatwave in his deck. I don't think they usually run Karathi Heatwave anyway, but, like, you know, you never know. People can sometimes sneak in the bizarre card, and just you'll never expect it. So here I actually opt to Mata. So we did manage to draw Damien, which is nice. Like, yeah, Thirsty Dame is getting weaker, but he's not gonna die from the bleed, so he would need to play another card if he wants to deal with Thirsty Dame, so I'm okay with it, really. Okay, so he does play the Chrome Mother here, and gets the Roach out. The Roach is actually what tells me that this is indeed a Lippy deck. So I now know what I'm dealing against, because I know that just straight up self-damage without the Lippy is also a thing now. I've seen a couple of streamers play it, a couple of YouTubers, so it's starting to creep its way into the meta, you know? So I think I played the Van Mollem Hunter there. I didn't see my play because I was trying to change music. But yeah, I think I played the Van Mollem Hunter to bleed the Roach. And he faced Tersha Bearmaster. I'm surprised he actually chose not to boost the Roach. Because now that he's actually boosting one of his units to a, to a considerable amount of power, that would be my target for a poison, and I still have a pending poison from a Masquerade Ball. So here's where I actually decide to finish the poison off on the bear to give myself a good 15-point lead. This is where I was wondering if he was actually going to pass or not. I don't think he passed. I think he decided to keep on going, despite his 15-point deficit. So this is where I wonder, well, what his plan would be. So this is where I actually get a little bit intrigued by the fact that he's even rocking a Golden Froth. But Golden Froth is an alchemy and it is a 6/4/4, so I'm also thinking like maybe that's a card I might consider adding into my deck. Because versus a card like, let's say, Crow's Eyes Rizomi, where it is a 5 provision, it is alchemy, it gets you 3 crows, which could potentially boost, let's say, your Axel. Or your Corrupted Fulminica if for some reason you try to mass purify your crows. But Golden Froth, I guess, was a good addition there, I suppose. It is a 6/4. It did get boosted. It doesn't hurt to try it out, you know, for science. And it is alchemy, so it does work with Skellige. It does give Grimace that extra purify if you need it. But now this is where I kind of see that the crow is getting quite a bit of power, so I kind of start, you know, setting my eyes up to that crow and decide to give it a poison. This is where I actually decide to Morale and play the poison on the crow. It does seem like a big commitment, but again, I am trying to win round 1, and the bulk of my power actually comes from the Operator and the Thirsty Dame. It actually doesn't really come from like cards like Morale and the Cupbearer. These are good supporting cards, but the main bulk of the power comes from Operator, Thirsty Dame shenanigans. So this is, I think, he might actually be thinking of passing here because he knows that if I complete the poison, then I'm gonna get an even further lead. So I think he actually opts to pass here. Because obviously if he doesn't and I play Morale and I get Morale off on the poison, then... I mean, if I were my opponent, I would be thinking, oh, this guy expended Masquerade Ball, he expended Morale, he expended the Cupbearer, he expended Mata. Like, dang, I think I'm good. I think I can now deal with what he's got coming out next, because I've only brought out Crow Mother and Roach, which needs to be in the graveyard for it to work. But little does he know what's about to come. He's about to get bamboozled. Okay, so this is where I was trying to look for an Operator, and I did manage to get it, because like I told you guys, I am planning on passing round 2. This is where I come across the issue of potentially getting a bit greedy with 2 Thirsty Dames. That was sort of in the back of my mind, so, you know, I was thinking about it as well. Because I was also thinking about getting rid of one Thirsty Dame to get out possibly another status card. So I just decided to dry pass here. And I think he actually decides to play the Savage Bear sort of as his dry pass card. And it's interesting because he kind of misses out on 8 points with the Savage Bear, which feels bad, but you know what? It works for me. So he no longer has the 8 power on the Savage Bear because his other one is in the graveyard, so that was actually really good. So he doesn't get to bleed my units anymore, which is nice. So he lost out on that 8/4/4. And it's funny because Skellige's conditions for a 6/4/4 and 8/4/4 aren't bonded, unlike, you know, most of the other factions. This is actually stronger in the sense that the other Savage Bear can just be in the graveyard, so you don't need to have both in hand for it to be maximized, unlike, you know, the Cintron Enchantresses or the poor beggar from the Syndicate that's bonded, it's Profit 2, bonded, gain Profit 4. You need to have both in hand to have them both pulled off, which I thought might be a waste of a card in the hand, so... In Skellige's case, it's much better, I think. It's the strongest. There are their 8/4 conditional cards is strongest in Skellige faction, which was really nice. So at this point, I was like, I didn't exactly want an Assassinate and Attorney Joust, and I had to get rid of Joaquin there because otherwise the spy was going to be a dead spy, so... And I did not just want to give him 2 points for free. I'm not that generous. Okay, so he's just thinking about his mulligans, and he does go first, so we can see what I believe his first turn might have been the Shield Maidens. Yeah, his first turn might have been the Shield Maidens. So, and that actually gave me the indication that he either bricked them or he doesn't have Ceres. My guess is that he bricked them, because why wouldn't you have Ceres if you're playing a Lippy deck? It just doesn't make any sense. Nope, just kidding. He placed the Haymaker Protector first, and I'm like, that's my Attorney Joust getaway there. Because I was thinking in the back of my mind, like, what's my opportunity to play Attorney Joust? And he literally threw it right onto the field. Which is strange too, because you don't usually run Haymaker Protector unless you have Armored Drakkar and the Priest. So my guess is I'm starting to think in the back of my mind that he has the Priest and Armored Drakkar. Because otherwise, why would you have a Haymaker Protector? You know? And that's just me pulling up my drive randomly, so ignore that. So this is where he's also thinking of his next move. My guess, I think this is where he actually does opt to play the Shield Maidens here. Again, which gave me the indicator that he bricked them with Ceres in hand, or he doesn't have Ceres in his hand, or he doesn't have Ceres at all. My guess is it's one of the former two. And then this is where I actually decided to go ahead and start with my combo off with Fion. And his real main way of dealing with Fion is Gremist, of course, because, you know, Decoction's not a thing to deal with it. Delirium's not a way to deal with it. Stunning Blow won't even be enough to deal with it. So, if he didn't have Gremist, then I was again sort of free to do my business. So again, he's taking his time, probably wondering what he's going to do. You know, I like sort of the text where it finally says opponent is deciding, because that kind of tells me what cards he's playing, what cards isn't. Like, I know this isn't a Stunning Blow. It was most likely going to be Ermion, which it was. And I believe he opts to play Sigdrifas right here. And this is what I was wondering, is what on earth is he getting out with Sigdrifas right? Because all those cards are absolute garbage. He opts to bring back the Savage Bear, which only gets 1 charge. And he decides to save it, I guess. But now I know that Damien is now ready to go. So I actually decided to play Damien instead of Operator, because I want to play Damien like the moment that... the first turn I get to play Damien, knowing that the defender is there to protect him, I'll take it. So I did decide to take it here. And he has, so this is where he actually decides to play Lippy. So this is what I was wondering, is like, why didn't he play Sigdrifas right after he played Lippy? Because I see now that Vildkarl is in his graveyard, so he could have brought back Sigdrifas right with Vildkarl. But he actually has Mata, which actually did draw the Sigdrifas right, so I guess in a way that made sense. I don't know, I feel like that sequencing could have been done a little bit differently to sort of maximize the deck, but we'll see. So we have Damien. I decided to hold back on the Impostor because I thought, dang, I have 2 Thirsty Dames in the hand. So I'm like, I'll hold off and I'll wait. You don't see the 1, but there's a 1 there. There is an ability that I can use. Trust me. Believe me. I'm not American. It's just a good meme. Anyway, so this is where he decides to Stunning Blow. So he's expended a charge for Savage Bear and a Stunning Blow to kill Fion, and he doesn't even end up killing Fion, so... you know, I thought that was a little bit funny there, that he just can't deal with Fion for some reason. So this is where I finally decide to start getting out my Thirsty Dames so that I can finally get the combos off and ready to go. So there's I was actually taking a look at that spores because I was wondering why he has spores in his deck. Like, they don't usually run spores, but I guess if he's dealing with a lot of units that reset, then I guess in a way that makes sense. So there's his Mata, and that actually did draw out his Sigdrifos Right, which is my guess is why he played Sigdrifos Right before he played Lippy. Then there, I think I decided to play my last Thirsty Dame, and I did decide to play the Impostor there. I could have actually waited by playing the Informant first before doing it, but, you know, I decided to just get it off now while I can. She did draw me that Tourney Joust, so now I had to find another way to deal with it, and lo and behold, here comes Ceres to provide me with my Tourney Joust answer, which is, of course, killing that Shield Maiden, which was really nice there. So so generous of him to give me cards to, you know, kill with Tourney Joust. It's like he's just putting them right in front of me, you know? Like, they're just there for me to take and to destroy. So that's the thing with Mata, why Mata can backfire, because a lot of 4 provision cards in decks are usually cards that do 4 damage to units. So that's something you gotta be careful of when you draw Mata. So you gotta consider the 4 provision cards that they could get out, because if it's a removal card that does 4 damage, then that could mean trouble for some of your, you know, more valuable engines, right? So you gotta be careful about that. Now we got Tertia Bearmaster out here, his second one, and I believe he opts to boost Morkvarg? No, Roach. Okay, that's fine. Not that that matters too much to me, because that actually just gave me 5 points of 5 points of Thirsty Dame engine boost, so that was really nice. And now I decide to get the Informant out into the last Thirsty Dame. I think I might title this, what's better than 1 Thirsty Dame, 2 Thirsty Dames? 6 Thirsty Dames, you know? So now I'm starting to kind of notice that his deck is that his field is filling up here, and I still have 2 spies left that I have to play. So he is starting to suffer from sort of that deck fill. So there he opts to play Royal Decree, and I believe he gets out another Heimei Protector from this one, which I thought was weird, because I feel like, you know, he had a Savage Bear in his deck, I think, which might have been better. I think it would have given him an extra 2 points of bleed. But with the Heimei Protector, he's not really getting too much out of this. So he does decide to put it in there. I think what he was trying to do here is he was trying to get the Vildkarl beside the Heimei Protector to get the boost. But actually, no, I don't prevent that. I think he just missed. Oh no, he plays the charge on Lippy for some reason. I guess that was the best he could do. So here's where I play Roderick into the Wakim. I actually could have put it in the ranged row to prevent it from getting boosted by Vildkarl. But here I just decided to opt to poison the Heimei Protector. So this is like now you're starting to see why I'm sort of noticing that his deck is filling up here a little bit, or his field is filling up here a little bit. He still has 2 cards to play, not to mention he's getting a unit from his leader charge. So this is where I'm thinking maybe I don't kill the Protector. Instead, I just poison something else, because at the end of the day, all that does is boost the poison on, or boost the Thirsty Dames up by 6. So essentially, I'm playing a 10-point Fangs of the Empire there. So here is where this is what tells me that that last card is a unit, because he actually doesn't play the charges on Vildkarl immediately. Because I could have just kept an Assassinate and I could have killed Vildkarl, So yeah, that actually tells me that his last card actually is indeed a unit. So I just decided to go ahead and just poison something else. I thought I'd give him the option to either play that last card or to play the charges. I mean, whether or not whichever choice he makes, he's gonna be playing those charges to get Vildkarl up to 12 power. But he doesn't get the extra 6 from the, you know, from the ability, you know? So I'm kind of deciding to give him the ultimatum of playing that card or his spawning ability. So I decided to go ahead and just poison Vildkarl just to see what kind of... Oh no, I poisoned Roach actually. So just to see what kind of decision he makes here. So I restrict him even more with this play. So that's why it's fun having a lot of those spies. Like, you can just purposely fill up an opponent's row and they'll be out of cards to play. And it's like, what on earth are they going to do, right? And he does play the charges on the Vildkarl and just play the 6. And he discards that last card. I believe that last card was Jutta. I would have played Jutta and just played the 3 charges and not get the Bear Abomination off, because Jutta was gonna get her full power out because I had a Thirsty Dame with 13 power. so WHATS wasn't going to be the strongest card on the field. So yeah, and that's the game. I don't even play my last card, and that's going to be the game. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. So this is going to be my first time, but I'm going to be attempting an outro here. So just to let you guys know, if you guys did enjoy the deck video for today, be sure to leave it a like. Be sure to check out some additional deck guides here. I believe I have them posted here. If you guys, I think one up here, one down here somewhere. Make sure you guys check them out if you guys want to see some more deck guides. And of course, subscribe for more Gwent videos. And other than that, hope you guys take it easy out there and stay safe. And this is Enzo signing out, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.